Hi everyone, thanks for joining a post by Ange. My name's Angela and today is how to clean the inside of your stove. So first, before we get into our cleanings, let me introduce you to the products I'll be working with today. I like to work with all natural cleaning products within my home, which is why I choose to use a lot of Norwax's cleaning line. So starting in a clockwise motion, on the right hand side we have the oven and grill cleaner, and beside that is the Norwax cleaning paste, and beneath that is an environmental cloth. On the left hand side you will see a scrubbing brush from Norwax, and in the top left hand corner is a dollar store squirt bottle, and within it is just water. This is the stove that we'll be working on today. I have not cleaned this stove in about 1 year. The last time I cleaned my stove, I used the self-clean feature that is located on our display panel. However, never using the self-clean feature before, I had no idea that it was going to smell so horribly and take so long. The smell was so terrible. We opened up all the windows in our house. Our 3 cats went into the furthest room, windows open, doors shut. My dog, husband, and myself all had to leave the house for the day. And when we returned back home, the feature had still not completed. The house smelled even worse. So we turned off the stove and I completed the cleaning by hand. This is why I'm not using the self-cleaning feature, and I would advise for you to do the exact same thing. Avoid the smell, avoid the toxic fumes, and just clean by hand. So I'm going to reveal what is inside my oven to you. No judgment, please. Yep, look at that mess. That is quite disturbing, I must say myself. I had no idea how bad things were going to be in that oven until I removed the wire rack. As you can see, it's pretty terrible in there. I found a scraper in our house. It's similar to an X-Acto knife, and I used that to remove all the debris off the bottom of the stove. However, the door was getting in my way, so you can see me removing it just there. I did that by lifting up the 2 hinges at the sides of the door and just sliding the oven door off. It wasn't hard at all. This gave me the ability to scrape into the back corners and collect all the debris at the farthest edges of the stove, and it made for an easy, effortless wipe up, which you can see me doing right now. I sprayed water throughout the entire stove, including the sides, wet the blue environmental cloth, which you can see the reflection there, as well as wet the silver scrubbing pad. Once everything was wet, I massaged the silver scrubbing pad into the jar of cleaning paste and used that to clean the sides and bottom of the stove. For any harder, thicker pieces of debris, I brought back in the scraper to remove that, and then alternated with the blue environmental cloth. As you can see, it was quite effective. And I did do a few run-throughs of these 3 techniques using the scrubbing pad, the scraper, and the blue environmental cloth. I felt that I needed a little bit more to help get that nice shiny finish, so I brought in the oven and grill cleaner. The spray head wasn't working, so I just manually opened it and poured it out onto the stove. You could see there I used my hand to smear it around just because the product is chemical free. I also checked to make sure I was following the instructions properly, which was just a matter of spraying, letting sit, and using the environmental cloth to wipe it all up. I used the cleaning paste, the environmental cloth, and the silver scrubbing pad to remove any debris from the rack that I removed from the oven. I really took my time here to get into all the corners and crevices, and I made sure that I did both the front and bottom side, or the top and the bottom side of the rack here. I used my faucet to rinse off any excess, and I just continued this until the job was done. So here we have the oven door. I used the scraper to remove any food debris from the interior window panel, as well as the scraper to pull out any crumbs that were stuck within that tubed lining that surrounds the window. Once I had completed that, using the environmental cloth with the Norwax cleaning paste to get everything nice and shiny, spick and span. It took a total about 5 minutes to get that done, and once I completed that, I slid the door back onto the hinges, fastened the hinges, cleaned the top and the handlebar, the exterior of the stove, and I was all done.
So cleaning the inside of the stove wasn't nearly as bad as I thought it was going to be. Now knowing that it is as easy as what it was, I'll be definitely using the Norwex paste again in the future. And then that way I can certainly ensure that the inside of the stove remains nice and squeaky clean. Since that took no time at all, I figured we'll clean the top of the stove as well. So not all of you will have a ceramic top like I do. If you have gas burning stove, you'll have to pull the grates out. I recommend using the paste to scrub down the grates as well as to scrub down that ceramic surface that's beneath it. You just want to be mindful that you don't get it into the elements. But if you have a nice smooth surface like this, it's going to be pretty easy to do. So I've already wet my Norwex cloth. I'm just going to rub the cloth in to the paste and take it across the stove.
Noticing the grease and splatter marks on the back of the stove, I decided to use more of the cleaning paste to wipe everything down, remove the knobs, clean those knobs up, as well as the surrounding areas, and place them back on.
So I cleaned the inside of my stove. I accomplished a task that I was so fearful of, and I'm glad that I did it. And I challenged myself to do something that I have put off for far too long. In fact, it was a lot easier than I expected. So easy that it encouraged me to clean the outside, the inside of the stove door, as well as the top of the stove and the back of the stove as well. Using all natural products too. Fantastic, eh? That was how to clean the inside and outside of your stove. I hope you found that the products and tips that I offered today will be useful to you. And when you clean your stove, let me know how it goes. Let me know how it went. If you use different products, if those products worked better, if they left a smell, um, anything. I'd love to hear from you. And I always enjoy reading the comments. So thank you in advance for that. And I look forward to the next time we meet online together.
Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and comment and subscribe to A Post by Ange.